grab yourself a cup of coffee. It's story time. All right, so let's talk about sustainable living and what it really means to build a post-scarcity society. That's what I wanted to talk about today. Post-scarcity society. I'm getting a little lost in the sauce. So typically when I think about post-scarcity society, what I think about is science fiction, right? Things like Star Trek, where there's a society that no longer has money. They are living with like replicators. So you can just like go to a replicator and be like, boop, 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 make the thing I want. And you don't have to, there's no work that's needed, right? They've removed the need for labor. All of the people, hi little Robin, let's see if I can get you. Good morning. Oh, that was cool. So very auspicious. Watching me make this video with you. So in a post-scarcity society, what you are looking at is most of the science fiction dreams that we have painted as a people have been there's some way to remove the need for labor, right? You don't need people to cultivate the land. You don't need people to sew the cloth. You don't need somebody to harvest the cotton from the field. And so it's removed that need through mystery, magical means that we don't really know if they exist or not. In this version of post-scarcity society, it's actually about valuing the labor and the people that are doing the work. Bear with me, okay? So, permaculture. I think I really need to talk to you about permaculture, to talk to you about post-scarcity. So, I am currently in Kansas, the land of cornfields and soy fields. And the reason we have so much corn and so much soy is because it's subsidized by the government. That then means that we have a bumper crop of soy and corn, which is not like the most healthy things for you. So we create all kinds of stuff with them. We create soybean oil. We create all of these soy extracts. Leave some notes in the comments of like other soy and corn products you know, because there's so many of them and I'm not going to be able to list them all. But we also have like corn chips and things that we do that because there's so much of it, that's where a lot of our junk food is coming from. All of the stuff that in the United States is very, very cheap to consume. You go to the grocery store and it's like the 79-cent bag of chips or whatever it is, right? However much it's costing you these days, because who the frick knows with all the tariffs that are happening. But essentially the reason that we keep that cheap is we subsidize it by the government. We have this overabundance of two very specific crops that don't have a lot of health value, and then you have to turn it into food, and they do all of these extraction processes to get it. Short and simple. Permaculture. Permaculture is this idea of living in harmony with the land. That's like an overarching thing, but the real principle of permaculture is that you grow plants. Some of them are food producing plants, some of them are pollinator plants, and it really starts with water and understanding your water. But I think I have to get into that in a different video. Comment water if you want that video, and or actually, hey, yeah, comment water, and I'll release a video on that and how permaculture works with water. But instead of planting things in big square fields where you have hundreds and hundreds of acres of just one product being produced, that it depletes the soil. All soybeans need the same kind of soil. All corn needs the same kind of soil. When you rotate your crops, not everything needs the same kind of soil. So you would maybe put in our farm had rabbits, right? Rabbits are really, really good producers because their waste doesn't have to go through a recycling process in the same way that like cow waste or chicken waste kind of has to burn really hot in order to become dirt again. I might be getting too into the nitty gritty, but if like you nerd out on this, you're here and I love you and I'm so excited. So let's say you wanted to plant corn in your front yard. And then you plant it for a season or two, and then you would rotate in an animal that produces a waste product that adds nutrients to the corn, or you would have a composting program on your property through the animals and the different types of plant waste on your property that then create new soil to re-nourish the field. And then because the nutrients that are there that are different, you would rotate something in. Okay, I don't want to lose you, but essentially here we go. With permaculture, you're responding to the needs of the land itself. You're not planting things in rows, you're planting things in companion planting. There's this specific style called the Three Sisters. If you know about the Three Sisters, DM me because they're lovely. And essentially, like, each of the plants gives something to the other plant, and that is the principle of permaculture. All right, so how on earth, I have rambled for so long, how on earth does this relate to post-scarcity? When we find those relationships that are like the Three Sisters, we create a space where everybody has something that somebody else needs. In permaculture, it allows us to grow food, right? You can turn an acre of land into enough food for an entire family with permaculture. And that is the difference of seeing the land as scarce and something we need to control and to put into boxes, into being in harmony and being connected and being responsive to what we notice goes well. And so you do a lot less labor. With permaculture, it doesn't take all of the machinery and all of the, not antibiotics, but what are the things? The stuff that kills the weeds. Put the name there. I don't remember. It's not coming to my head. When you have those, when you start to see those relationships, you're no longer in scarcity with the earth. You are in harmony and abundance with the earth. And I will tell you that even on our property, where we were barely getting started with our cycling programs of trying to just recondition our soil, we had so much abundance. I was starting to set up a network of people that I needed to distribute food to. We had so many chickens because we were using chickens to go through a process to create dirt to then put into the earth, so that because our land had been overgrazed, and so it needed all of this amendment to it. And we had 22 chickens. So every day, my 22 chickens are producing a dozen eggs. These dozen eggs are more than my family can eat. So I had to start producing a network of folks that could consume the eggs, right? And then they get to flow energy back to me. And at the time, I was just asking for donations. So this dude who showed up and he was like, hey, I already have a system set up for distribution of bread to veterans and unhoused folks. Can I trade you the eggs for the heels, just the ends of the bread? And because, you know, the people that I'm giving the bread to, they don't really want those parts of it. They want like the full loaves and whatnot. I'm going to try and do something with this hair. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, you can eat it. You can feed it to the chickens themselves. And then essentially he's giving back directly to the chickens, right? It's that gratitude for what the chickens have produced, that now he is able to feed them in the way that he is feeding him and so many other people in the community. And that, my dear, that's where we get to post-scarcity. That's where we get to systems that feed each other, instead of us being dependent on somebody else to sell me seeds, somebody else to come and mow my lawn, somebody else to come in and put down fertilizer, right? Somebody else to make my clothes. I start to create relationships. I start to be in connection with people, sometimes local to my community, sometimes global to my community, that have something that fits what I need and something that is fueling to what I am doing. I think there's so much potential here. This is catalytic. And if it sparked something for you, share this video, because I can't do this on my own, obviously. I need a network of people. And that's what I'm here doing with you, calling you in. Hi. It's nice to meet you. I've been looking for you too. I'm glad you found your way here. Let's talk. DM me. Let's go. Talk to you soon.